Welcome to part 2 of the Zoe Sports demo. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to enter all of your competitor details and then how to enter those competitors into their chosen events. So let's log in. In part 1, we built an inter-house school athletics day and called it Athletics Demo. So open that. On the sidebar, choose Entry and then Competitors. First off, we need to enter all of the competitor details. So click Open Entry Sheet. This produces an Excel file based on your tournament choices. You can see we have a number of columns: first name, surname, date of birth, gender, and for this tournament, house. If you'd chosen year group as one of the age grades, there would have been another year group column over here. Now that we have this file open, we need to fill in all the details. For New Zealand schools, the easiest way to do this is to access your school management system, which is probably Kmart, export the school role, and then just copy and paste it across. For this demo, I've just made up an example role, like this, with example students, enough of them to run a junior boys grade. Obviously, your school will be larger, and that's fine. There's no real limit to the number of competitors who can enter. So let's copy that and paste it across. There we go. I'll just close this one down. Great. Before we move on from this, a couple of points. Date of birth. This needs to be day, month, year. Secondly, in part 1, you may remember we put the names of our houses as red house, blue house, etc. But here we only have red, blue, yellow, green. I've done this on purpose because I want to show you how the system works with filters. So let's save this, close it down, and then confirm those details. And we have an unexpected detail pop up. Let me explain why. If you have a house called, say, Allen House, but your management system just uses the initials ALL or something, this pop-up checks where each filter should go. So, this filter red belongs to red house, blue to blue house, yellow to yellow house, and green to green house. Save and continue. And that is done. To be honest, that is probably the most technically difficult part of the whole system. As you can see, the sidebar has changed over here, and each house now has its own button. So let's start with the blue house. Here we have all the grades, and we'll go to junior boys. Great. You can see the the blue color of the blue house. All the names of the students that are entered in that house that are in the junior boys in alphabetical order. Along the top here, we have all of the contests. And in this case, open boys gumboot toss, because the boys can enter that as well. So to enter this Ben Benson into the 100 meters, we just select this button. I'm going to enter all the students into one timed event, so that's the 100 meters, one throwing event, so we got a distance, and one vertical, so the high jump. And I'll save that. Let's move on to the greenhouse, and again, junior boys. Colors the same, names are all in the same. Now, just notice when I click this button here, this button turns red and says unsaved. That just lets you know that changes have been made that aren't saved in the system yet. All you need to do is click save, and that vanishes. Again, I'll enter these into the 100 meters, the high jump, and the discus. And just to show you, if I try to move off this page, it'll pop up and tell me, do I want to continue? I'm going to say no. And discus, and save. Now, before we move on to the red house, I'm just going to show you another thing. If you remember, with the template, we had restrictions. In this case, the tournament maximum was 10, the track event maximum was 5, and field event maximum was 5. Let's change this. I'm going to make field 3 and the overall maximum 8 and save that. Now let's go to red house and junior boys. Look what happens when I try to enter Adam Adamson in more than 3 events for field. It just won't let me. It'll tell you why, but it'll pop up and tell you that you can't. So I'm just going to pop them there. You can change the restrictions at any time, and if you have a minimum restriction, like I said in part 1, that won't affect you here, but it will affect you over here in complete when you go to mover it. So let's just save that, and I'll go and change the restrictions back. So that's 5 and now 10. Great. The last thing I want to show you in this section is something we've built in, which is called access. When you get to the entry section, to make it a little easier for the administrator, we've added tournament login. So if this system sits on your server, anyone with access, you can give them access. So let's go athletics demo, and we've got yellow house left. You can say to the captain, the captain of the house, or the leader of the house, the dean of the house, they can enter their own details. So they can come onto their own version of the page, which only allows them to enter the yellow house. And they can choose, they can enter the students themselves. This is great if you have a very large school and you want to delegate a lot of the responsibility. So they can enter them separately all at once. You can even have people having multiple access to the same house entering different grades. And then they'll save that. And if we pop into your admin login and go back, you can see that everything they entered in the captain login is here as well. So that's the end of part 2. You've entered all of the student details, they're all in the right house, they're all in the right grade, and now you've entered those competitors into their events. In part 3, we're going to run a tournament.